We've all seen the viral video, a man with a gun pointing it at another man without a gun. Another guy runs up with a camera filming the whole thing, offering everyone hugs. You guys, this video has been sent to me from every angle. Number one, people are sending it to me because I do breakdowns on street fight situations, and this was certainly a forced interaction in the street. Number two, the man who was carrying the gun in this situation, if you zoom in, he's wearing a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu hoodie, and people sent it to me for that reason as well. So we are sitting here with the man from the interaction. Jacob, thank you for joining me for this situation. I knew there was more to the story than what we saw in the video, so I wanted to hear exactly what happened, and I wanted to give you a chance to share your side of the story, because we can tell that the video on the internet has been highly edited, and we don't know what was left out, and we don't know what happened before the video. But being that you're one of the students at one of our schools in, is it Decatur, Georgia, with Jason Brock, thanks for joining us. Tell us what happened, bro, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. So yeah, as most things on the internet, this doesn't show everything. I just woken up from a nap. I just got back in town. I was gone for like 2 weeks, and I went to go get a burrito at the gas station. And so I slide on the most comfortable hoodie I have, believe it or not, and it's this hoodie. And I walk out the door. I go get the burrito. I come back, and there's a Penske truck right in front of where I live and where I park. And the Penske truck is just sitting there trying to back up. And I felt kind of bad for them because you could tell they were all frustrated. It was like this much room they had to work with on our small street in the middle of the city. And I see the guy walk over to me and kind of like, hand motion like he's already mad. And I don't even know what's going on. I'm just sitting there listening to the radio. Finally, about 5 minutes later, they move the truck. They give up. They move it to the side of the road. And I was like, okay, cool. I can go around now and park and go inside. So I'll drive up the street, turn around so I can parallel park. And as you see in the video, there's a parking spot and then a car. And then I guess he's somewhere around there. So when I'm driving, I pull past the car so I can pull back in and parallel park. Well, turns out the man thought I was trying to mess with him or something by pulling that close. And he didn't know I lived there, starts screaming at me. I yell back, I live right there. I'm trying to park. And he just snapped. And he runs around my car, opens my car door, and just starts wailing on me and trying to yank me out of the car. I'm buckled in. I can't move. I'm just buckled in. My seat's tight. My seatbelt's tight. And so I've just got a hold of him, trying to keep him from punching me more. And then I realized this guy's not going to stop. I'm like, stop. He's yelling like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to beat your blood, all this stuff. And I'm just getting hit. So I finally resort to pulling a weapon I had. I had a pistol on me. And legally, I have a permit for a pistol. So I pulled the pistol and I pointed up. And I'm like, he couldn't even see because he's just swinging. And I'm like, I've got a gun. Get out. Get out. I've got a gun. He looks up, sees it, starts backing up, yelling, I'm still going to beat you, all this stuff. I'm going to kill you, la, la, la. And as he's backing up, he loses sight out of my view, and I'm still in the car. So I unbuckle because I'm not trying to let him go around and I don't see him and then get attacked again. And obviously I can't even drive off. If you watch the video, you can see it. The car in front that's blocking the road waits till I get out, and then they move over. So I'm kind of just stuck, and I'm right outside my door of my home. And so I follow him around, and he's yelling, messing with his waistband about guns and killing and fighting and all this. So I start yelling, and he goes behind the car and ducks. So then I get real nervous. So I start following him around the car to make sure I can see what he's doing. For all I know, he could pop up with a gun. And he's still yelling, messing with his waistband, his pants. And then about that time, a guy, I guess, was in a car going to the restaurant up the road. I see someone coming in my peripheral, and I look, and it's this guy with a phone, and he's all like, oh, you need hugs, blah, blah, blah. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to shoot him. I'm making sure I know what's going on. I don't know who this guy is. And he just snapped like a wild animal and attacked me in my car. And I'm making sure, I have control of what's going on and it doesn't get worse. And I don't know where that is in the video. I think it might have been cut out. But so he comes up about that time. Now I say I'm not shooting anybody. I'm trying to figure this out and protect myself. And then he gets closer, trying to hug people. I ended up, I'm not hugging him. I don't know who this guy is. I've got a guy at gunpoint, and the guy's trying to hug me. And then he ends up filming and then just kind of walks off and runs back up, I guess, to the restaurant, finishing his video. And he was with a girl, I guess, and they walk up. So it's still going on. And the guy is like coming back and forth. And finally he stops, kind of acting real crazy. And I don't have a holster, so I can't holster my weapon, even though it was kind of seemed settled. It fell out in the car when we were tussling around. And so I have it by my side at that point, and he just kind of walks over to the Penske truck with his boss in it, because they ended up being a family-owned little moving company with a really nice man that owned it and his young son, and this was their hired hand. And the guy just starts wailing on the Penske truck. Sounded like gunshots going off. He hit it so hard he had to have broken something, and then just bolts down the road. And his boss gets out, is like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened. He's our hired hand. This is my little company. That's the face of my company. Please don't call the police, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you're cool. It's over. I'm not calling the police. And everything kind of just ended at that point. All my neighbors were out. The police ended up coming. I guess someone else called them. And we talked to the police officer, and he just said Atlanta's a wild place, that he is glad I had protection on me. And it kind of just ended. He drove off. I talked to the guy in the truck, and they were cool, and that was it. And then turns out later that night, I walk outside and to let my dogs out, and it's dark. It's like 5 hours later. And the guy I had at gunpoint is walking down the road on the other side on the sidewalk. I was on the phone with my brother, and I was like, hey, let me call you right back. And he seemed calm. So I ended up being like, hey, man, were you the guy I got into it with earlier? And he walks over and he was like, yeah, man, that was me. I'm really sorry. My dad had just passed away. I was stressed out because of that. We were trying to move a truck. And when you drove forward, I didn't know you lived there and you were trying to parallel park. I thought you were coming up to screw with me because like they were in the road, and he thought I was just a mad driver and was someone else coming up honking and stuff. And he said he just lost it. So we ended up making up. I felt bad. You know, his dad passed away. I mean, I guess it doesn't give you the right to do that, but it definitely made a lot more sense at that time than just some wild attack out of nowhere that kind of, you know, put the story with it and made more sense. So we made up, and he's actually a cool guy. I talked to him for a minute, and we went on our ways, and that was about it. And then go back home, go back in, and I'm eating, and I start getting texts from people, and my heart sunk. I was like, oh my gosh, the dude put it on the internet. And so I even remember telling him, hey man, get away with your camera. No one cares about likes. I don't know what's going on. And he was like, I'm not filming. And, you know, I knew what was going to happen, and it did. And now I'm all over the internet. I thank God that nothing happened. Like the guy didn't stab me in my car. You know, Jesus was looking out for me and him. You know, I'd hate to have had to pull a trigger on somebody. That's horrible. But I also have to protect myself, and I didn't know what was going on. But it ended, I guess, about as good as it could have. So
I totally agree. And of course, when I first saw it, all you see is a guy with a gun yelling at another person. We don't see anything that happens before the video starts rolling. So speaking to you and hearing from you exactly what happened, I thought the world should know that, which is why you're here. I thought you should have the opportunity to explain. And first of all, people should know that in Georgia, right, the imminent unlawful force can be met with the threat or actual use of force, including the display of a firearm or the pointing of a firearm. So this is absolutely legal. When you're violently assaulted in your car and strapped in, and someone's attacking your face and striking at you, showing or pointing a weapon to say, hey, get off of me, because that's an unlawful use of force, is an absolutely legal aspect. Is that right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I believe your car in Georgia is an extension of your home. So anything you can kind of do in your home, you can do in your car, you know, to a point.
Yeah, and what I love about this is that, you know, you're right. It could have been way worse, right? You could have been in there without a gun. He could have assaulted you for the next 5 minutes, right, in your car where you're strapped and have trouble using your limited jiu-jitsu, right? You've only been training for what, 4 months, you said?
4 months. I love it, but I haven't learned how to fight from
that comes in the 5th month.
Yeah.
So yeah, just with the limited confines of the situation, the fact that ultimately jiu-jitsu is about efficiency, right? Maximum effectiveness with the minimal use of force, or the minimal input, maximum effective with minimum input, right? Leverage ultimately. And in this case, displaying a firearm was leverage to get the guy to back up, and then you very, very responsibly handle the situation after that. You didn't need to use the firearm other than to display its possibilities and neutralize the situation. So I think it was handled perfectly. I'm proud of you. I'm glad we had a chance to speak. And there's only one part of the story to me that doesn't really add up. And that was that you had nowhere to put your gun after drawing it and using it to intimidate him. And you said you left your holster in the car and that you didn't know.
Yeah, it fell out. I ended up finding it on the floorboard. So
I know, but what you didn't realize is while you were in this altercation, you actually had a storage compartment that you were wearing, right? Because your hoodie turns into a backpack. It's a quick flip hoodie. So just to make sure that you're squared away on that, stand up and back up a little bit, please. I want us to make sure you know how to convert. You guys, we got to make sure he knows how to convert. So check this out. Let me see.
All right.
Let me see. Ooh.
I was just showing my friend's kid this. He thought it was so cool.
Let me see. Hold it to the camera right there so we can see it.
So I got it inside out.
Inside goes your Gracie hoodie.
Yep. And then now we got the backpack.
Look at that. Look at that, you guys. So if need be, you can store your firearm in Georgia in your quick flip backpack. And but it's awesome, bro. We're glad to have you there as the part of the Gracie Decatur family.
Thanks for the good hoodie too. Yeah.
Hoodie. And Jason's a great instructor there, so you couldn't be in better hands at that certified training center. So thank you for sharing, bro. And
yeah, thanks for letting me get my story out. I wasn't really able to do it. I'm just watching people kind of guess what happened, and that's not good to do. So
definitely, like anything on the internet, right? Without context, sometimes it tells a completely different story. So I'm glad we got the context out there, and I'm glad the truth is out there ultimately. And we're gonna see you soon on the mat. Hopefully you make it out here to Torrance. We can train together. In the meantime, keep training there, and wish you all the best, my man. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks,
I'll talk to you soon.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.